Truth and love, everybody. It's Krista Allura here with Learning Thyself, and I'm here to tell you things I'm learning about myself in confidence that it'll help you along your journey. Please don't get distracted by how I look. I'm gonna save this whole thing for another video, okay? Like I said, don't get distracted by how I look. I really want you to pay attention to the message, okay? In comparison to my other videos, all right? Because this is really important. For those of you who may still be stuck somewhere sometimes, in terms of wanting a relationship with somebody, if you, like myself, you've been single for a while, then this message is for you. I realize at times now I'm not a lonely person. You know what I'm saying? There's times where I'll feel alone. There's times where I might feel those feelings of loneliness, but in general, I'm not a lonely person because I always understood and will always understand that I never walk alone. I know I have my ancestors, my spirit guides, I have all my benevolent forces that are with me at all times. And so I make sure I ground myself in that truth. But then there's times in my human mind where, I feel those little bouts of loneliness, and I have those fantasies in my mind where it would be beautiful to be with somebody. It would be beautiful to be with somebody who would hold me and listen to me, and we play, but we get work done. We do all kinds of stuff, right? And I've had to let it go for a long time, as I've been single for going on 4 years now. It's creeping up to 4 years. And, I've had to let go and practice letting go of romance and that idea of a perfect relationship and, just the 3D way of seeing relationships with a partner. And I'm not going to sit here and say there's anything wrong with that. There's a lot of people out there that, will meet each other, love at first sight. They haven't left each other's side in 40-something years, whatever the case. And I'm not saying that's not possible. All I'm saying is my mind is more focused on my mission. My mind is more focused on my healing and what I'm meant to do while on this earth plane. And but for the times where I have those thoughts in my mind, where I'm gonna call them "it would be nice" thoughts, I think about what parts of my body I'd like to be held. Okay. I think about parts of my body I'd like to be held. I think about particular conversations that I would like to be heard. I think about certain emotions I would like to be tended to. You see what I'm saying? And I'm putting them in categories for a reason. When we get into a relationship with somebody, there will always be a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and in some cases soulful interaction. There will always be some sort of give and take, exchange, action and reaction with all of those embodiments that I just listed. And so in my mind, the parts of me physically that would like to be held, the parts of me emotionally and mentally that I would like to be heard and tended to, are things that I continue to learn to do for myself. All those categories that I just mentioned, I'll say them once again: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. I'll just go there to the spiritual, and in many cases soulful. I'm gonna touch on the chakras. Okay? The chakras are vortices that connect the soul or the spirit all the way through those embodiments, all the way up to your physical. You won't see it physically unless your third eye is pretty open, and you might see people's aura, or you might see people's particular chakras. It depends on, what your abilities are. But the chakras are so important to pay attention to. Before, and what I'm learning for myself, and what I've always learned for myself, is that before getting into a relationship with anybody outside of myself, I always have to learn to get into a relationship with the person inside of me. And for me to get into a relationship with my chakra system, for me to get into a relationship with the elements within me, and therefore outside of myself, for me to get to a good relationship, a healthy relationship with my mind, body, and spirit, before I allow anybody else to have access to that. Because I need to further understand my boundaries. I need to further understand my wants and needs. I need to further understand the purpose that each of these things in each part of me has, so that nobody else trumps over my purpose. You see what I'm saying? With their human or egotistical agendas. And I never want to intertwine with anybody who will not choose to get a relationship with themselves before getting into a relationship with somebody else. Now, this is something I always understood, but there was a reason why I said what I said in the beginning, and I'm going to get back to it. When I choose to get into a relationship with myself, I make sure that I get into a relationship with my childhood self. I do that inner childhood work, where she may be hurt. And so I go and tend to her, you know what I'm saying? And I sit down in my meditation, in my mindfulness, I listen to her. I listen to what she has to say. I'll ask her to point to parts of her body that, may be injured, you know what I'm saying? Or tell me things that she needs to know, that I need to know, in order for the both of us to heal it, in order for me to carry it and be able to disperse it accordingly. The same thing with the chakra system. You know what I'm saying? I make sure that I speak with each of my chakras. I literally meditate and ask how, each chakra, yo, how you doing? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? And so I say all this because I realized that there were particular fantasies and pictures in my mind that I would continue to go to, where I have it ruminating in my mind saying, man, I would love if I can just do this with somebody. I would love if somebody can just, pay attention to this part of me, right? Everything that you want tended to, you have to tend to yourself. You have to. And if you don't know how to do it, you simply, you just start by asking questions. You just have to start by asking questions, because it hit me this morning where it's like, man, it'd be nice if, somebody can hold this part of my back. You know what I'm saying? And I always kept thinking about somebody just holding a particular part of my back. And so, it clicked with me this morning that even though I have a great relationship with my chakras, with my body and all that, that sometimes I might get swept up in a bout of loneliness. Sometimes I might get swept up in a place of, I don't want to say desperate, because it's not even all the way there. It's almost like, because there's a difference between a desperate energy and a determined energy. But even determined can deter you from your mission and your purpose, depending on where that determination is coming from. And my ego, can be very determined to get its way, so that the ego doesn't have to have its death, so that my ego doesn't have to transform in order for it to completely merge with my light self. So there's a negative and positive balance to everything, okay? But there has been times where I got swept up in this bout of loneliness. You know what I'm saying? Where, if you're a loner wolf like myself, if you don't really talk to anybody because you like to keep your energy to yourself, and you like to, that's pretty much staying to yourself is your peace. Um, not to push people away for the hell of it, but just because you don't want anybody else's energies or fears seemingly getting in the way of what you're trying to do and how you're trying to set up your energy. But there's times, just when you get into a deep human state of mind, those bouts of loneliness do come up, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, I realized. But for the times where I would get a little bit swept up in loneliness, so those are the times where I'm not 100% grounded in my knowing that my ancestors are there. Sometimes, in the spiritual journey, you feel like, nobody's there for you because you're impatient. You know what I'm saying? Things aren't happening the way you want it to happen. Things aren't going down the way you want it to go down on your timing, And so there's times where, you're just going to feel those bouts of being stuck and feeling alone, and nobody's hearing you. Nobody's hearing your prayers, you know what I'm saying? And so those bouts of loneliness come up during those times. Or sometimes like during retrograde or some weird shit like that, I don't know all about the planets and when they be doing that shit, but I just know when shit be coming back up, shit be coming back up, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're headstrong on your mission. And there's some things that you'll forget about. Those things will come back up. Old feelings and all that. So those old feelings of loneliness be creeping back up on me sometimes. And I'm like, I'm saying to myself, like, I really would like somebody to hold me because this is where my mentality is. Or I would love somebody to hold space for me because these are where my emotions are. Or I would love somebody to physically hold me because this is where my pain is. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. We can always help each other in many beautiful ways. But getting a real, healthy relationship with those embodiments that you have in your chakra system is everything. I really would invite you to look into the chakra system. We have so many chakras. We have 7 basic ones. I'm just going to start you off with that if you don't know much about the chakras, or if you're spiritual like I am, you've been doing this for a long time, then there's a hell of a lot more chakras than just 7. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a beautiful reminder, a loving reminder for you to hop back on your chakra system routine. Check in with yourself, especially. I know there's a lot of us spiritual people that ain't been meditating like that. You know what I'm saying? But to just do a check-in. You ain't gotta You ain't gotta do a monk version of meditating for 14 fucking hours in a row, 6 days in the same position. You ain't gotta do all that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes meditating for a solid hour or 2 really can take you to places that you never thought you can go, and that's cool. But if you're doing a check-in, there is no real time limit to a check-in. Okay, because what you're doing is you're speaking with every chakra, and every chakra, your root chakra might got something to say, your sacral might got something to say, but your solar plexus might got nothing to say at all, or so it says. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, one, be extremely patient with yourself. Okay, be extremely patient with yourself. Know that your chakras are holding on to old versions of you, your current you, and your future self. So it's not just your physical mind, your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and soul. It's also holding on to timelines. Your root chakra specifically, it holds on to past lives. Okay, but all your chakras do that. Especially if there's a specific chakra that was most definitely affected by it. You really just have to be patient with yourself and do a check-in. That's what I would invite you to do. Okay, if there's certain parts of your body that is having an issue, I would invite you to listen to your chakras and ask what it needs in order for that chakra to be balanced, so that you can help balance out your body, balance out your embodiments, and be able to get to a healthier place. Hold yourself. It's actually, in my opinion, it's actually more effective to hold yourself compared to when somebody else holds you. The reason why I say this is because, for an example, you ever try to tickle yourself and it don't really work? But when somebody else tickles you, you're laughing your ass off, right? It's because you're not really expecting it. And even when you know they're coming, you know what I'm saying? It's different when somebody outside of you is tickling you, because your brain does not have that signal to prepare itself. See, somebody can come and tickle you. You don't know how hard they're going to dig in your ribs. You don't know how long they're going to tickle you for. You know what I'm saying? But if you go and try to tickle yourself, your brain already has the up and up, saying, I know what you're about to do. I know how hard you're about to go in on it, yada, yada, yada. And so when you get to a place of being able to comfort yourself, when you get to a place of being able to hold yourself, a hug from somebody else can be nice, but when you hug yourself and you actually feel it, that means you have been able to really reprogram your mind to no longer expect that when you hold itself that it doesn't work. That you've been able to reprogram your mind in a place of self-love, that when you hold yourself and it works, oh man, you did some work. You really did some work. And if you've done that, congratulate. I get choked up thinking about it, because it's like being able to love yourself so much that you can reprogram your mind is so beautiful, and it's powerful. It's really, really fucking powerful. So when you're thinking about, and I'm thinking about ladies in particular, but this can go for both men and women. When you want, when you're looking for a sexual interaction, and there's nothing wrong with that, but when you're looking for that interaction, know that you can create that space for yourself. You don't necessarily have to self-pleasure either. You can, but I would invite you to just hold your genital area. Okay? I would invite you, I would specifically invite you to wash your hands. For me, I think like it can be effective if you have your clothes on. But for you to be really intimate with yourself, the way you wish you could be intimate with somebody else, this has nothing to do with masturbating at all. You can implement that in there, and do some. Both men and women do semen retention for the energy to come back up to your crown chakra. Excuse me, but without the act of masturbating. What I would really invite you to do, number one, is please study your chakra system on a deeper level. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of us who know the basics of the chakras. I'm still continuing to study it myself. But, and I've been studying them on and off for a very long time. I'm still learning so much. But, I really would invite you to take a shower and then get yourself a spiritual bath. Okay? Because you want to be clean before you do a spiritual bath. You grab the crystals that your chakras is asking you to, or your body or whatever is asking you to grab. Okay, put whatever herbs and whatever it is that you're gonna put in your spiritual bath. Take your spiritual bath. Okay, then when you come back out, and you blot yourself off, you know what I'm saying? You don't put any lotion or anything chemical. You don't want anything artificial on your body when you go to do this. Okay, you can put unrefined coconut oil, you know what I'm saying, or tea tree oil in your hair, whatever it is that you need to do if you really feel the need that you have to moisturize right then and there. But I would invite you to not put any chemicals, no lotion, no stuff like that. Okay, keep your body as natural as possible. When you come out of the shower, if you have a medication, then you do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Um, what I would invite you to do is light some candles. Make it intimate. Make it beautiful. Like the way you would light candles and, throw out some roses on the floor. Do the same thing for yourself. Be romantic with yourself. Okay? Set the mood. Because you know how it is when it comes to sexual healing. This is the same thing. You're also doing sexual healing. We have to understand and continue to remember that sexual energy is creative energy, and you are creating a romantic space for yourself in order for you to heal. Okay? So set the mood, light the candles, you know what I'm saying? Put on some beautiful music in the background. If you don't want to be distracted by any particular words, put on some jazz music, some New York jazz music. I love that shit. You can do Tibetan singing bowls, chimes, or you could do all that. Okay, and then you go. You could be first. Stay completely naked. You know what I'm saying? Stay completely naked, no matter how uncomfortable you might be. But you can wrap yourself in a nice, and make sure your sheets are clean, your blankets are clean, make sure everything's clean. Anything and everything you would do for somebody outside of yourself, make it in terms of cleanliness, you're going to do for yourself. And wrap yourself in the blanket, okay? Your head doesn't have to be wrapped up. You can if you want, but, you still want the ambiance, so just, but hold yourself. Hold your genital area, all right? Hold men, you can hold your chest, but ladies specifically, you can hold your breast, because there's a lot of usage when it comes to the breast area. But where there's been a lot of usage, there's also been a lot of trauma. You can hold your buttocks area. You can hold your knees. You can hold any part of your body, even if you're not necessarily looking specifically for a sexual healing in the genital area. Even when you go to get in touch with your chakras, you can do the same thing. Hold yourself where your chakras are. Hold yourself in your heart space. Okay, you can be completely naked. You can hold yourself right here. You can use two hands for that. Hold yourself in the armpit, wherever it is, whatever part of your body you're trying to hold it. Okay. If you're not necessarily looking for that intimate touch, say you're looking for an intellectual, wise conversation, you can do the same exact thing, same exact ritual, have the candles and flower petals and all that all over the place. But in your mind, speak to yourself, and the person that you're going to be speaking with is your higher self. Your higher self is going to know how to hold space for that conversation, or how to hold space for you to be able to pretend to have that conversation. Or it's not even pretending, because when you have a conversation with your higher self, that's a real conversation. Okay. If you want to vent and get it off your chest, and you speak with your higher self is going to know how to do that. If it's actually your childhood self that wants to have this conversation, then you are going to be the higher self, and your highest self will be there as well. But you will act as the higher self, and you will listen to what your childhood self has to say. And it's the same thing if your childhood self is feeling injured or traumatic in certain places, then you hold them there. Okay? You create the mood and the setting and the set for your own intimate bonding. When you're bonding with your childhood self, when you're bonding with your current self, when you're bonding with your future self, there's a beautiful way to do it. So however you would do it for somebody outside of you, you do the same for yourself. Okay? You have to honor your body. You have to honor your mind. You have to honor who you truly are. Okay? And, you know, even if before that, you know what I'm saying? You can either go out and take yourself on a date. You can talk to yourself if you want. Don't care what nobody else look like, or if you're inside, you know what I'm saying? You cook yourself something really nice. Do that. Okay? And every time you practice this, you're going to get more in touch with who you are. You're going to get more intimate, and you're going to become, you're going to feel a lot more whole when you do this with yourself. Okay? And if you're wanting to actualize somebody coming into your life, make space for them. I made a video on this. I'm not sure. It's like an old TikTok where I spoke about this. But I would invite you to make space. You know, when you're eating something, you know, you're alone, you're single, put out a plate. Put out a plate for that person. Make room in your closet. When you go out and sit on the bench, sit on one side of the bench as if you expect the other person to sit there. You see what I'm saying? It's just basically making space. But in the meantime, before you do all that, make space, make room for yourself. Hold yourself. Love yourself. Get into the deepest relationship with yourself as you possibly can, because that's you getting into a relationship with God. Okay? So that's all I have for that. Because this is what I'm continuing to implement for myself, to learn for myself, and I'm here to tell you from personal testimony that it is a beautiful thing to do, to be romantic like that for yourself. Okay? Your God self, your spirit, your soul, your childhood self, your current self, even your ego self, whether they want to admit it or not, and your shadow self, we're all, your whole self is gonna appreciate it. Your past self, your current self, your future self, your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, your emotional, all your unknowns is all gonna be absolutely appreciated. Okay? And we're gonna feel that appreciation, and we're gonna feel that on a collective level as well. Okay? Whatever actions you take, whatever you choose to do, is going into the collective pool. For good, bad, ugly, and indifferent, we're all going to feel it somehow, some way. And that vibration is going to continue to hit the rest of us. So treat yourself with love. Treat yourself with fairness, with kindness. Whatever you would do out of the bottom of your heart for somebody else is what you really got to start doing for yourself. And don't just do it once talking about why am I not cured yet. That's not how relationships work. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say. Like I said, I'll make another video talking about this whole get up right now, because I would rather be in my queendom right now, and I am. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like that to other people, but here I am most definitely in my queendom, and so it's all good. We'll get to that some other video, but I love you. Thank you for watching. Please go and beautiful. Please go check out my website, arisingphoenix.org. Okay? I got some services on there if you need help with meditation, if you want to attend some writing classes. I have vent sessions if you want to get some things off your chest. Open mics. I'm making a new open mic, so that is not 100% just open just yet. but it's opening back up because there are some changes I am making to that. I am adding a new service. It's called #NoVanGogh. And as you know, Van Gogh, or if you don't know, Van Gogh died, but then got known for his work later. Okay, and so there's so many of us that, you know, we have these book ideas and these drawings and paintings and poetry and all kinds of beautiful things, but we are too afraid of what every you know, anybody else thinks, or you know, we self-sabotage and defeat our dreams before even them see some sort of fruition. You know what I'm saying? And so with #NoVanGogh, you bring in your work. You know, we share what we have so far, and then together we finish it. Doesn't we can do this all at the same time. You make beats, enjoy your beats. You know, you do drawings, you do paintings, then do that. Bring whatever it is that you have that you want to finish. You know, this is about getting community help when it comes to just sort of, you know, pumping each other up. You know what I'm saying? Um, yes. So that is what I got going on right now, and I got some other stuff that's coming through that I'm not gonna mention right now. But also go check out my book, The Hidden Phoenix, emerging from adverse ashes. Excuse me, emerging from adverse ashes. Please go check that out on Amazon.com under Krista Alora, The Hidden Phoenix, emerging from adverse ashes. And you know, I'm gonna be coming out with some more stuff. I also do past life readings, so you can go to Cool, COOL, Aura, Oracle. Okay, Cool Aura Oracle. All right, that is my name when I do past live readings on YouTube. That is something that I'm actually probably gonna implement into my website. Yes, that's all I got for now. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Talk to you soon. Peace.